if I'm here and you're here, doesn't that make it our time?
Time.
Dirty Radio Classics. Coming up next, it's This, That, and the Other. This, That, and the Other.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks. All right. We are here. Sorry, I'm running a radio show and this YouTube channel all at the same time. It's a one-man show, for better or for worse. It is This, That, and the Other radio show, Dirty Radio.fm, Channel 2, Dirty Radio Classics, and we are simulcasting right now to YouTube, the This, That, and the Other radio show Facebook, and my own personal thing. So there you have it. My guest today, Tony Cardenas, Montana of Jack Russell's Great White, as well as Shadow and The Thrill. And he's an alumni guest, and I appreciate him coming on again, This, That, and the Other radio show to my now monetized YouTube channel. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it means I'm going to get a penny in the mail like those $1 billion or billion streams over at Spotify, but needless to say, let's bring on the amigo here. Tony, are you with us?
I'm with you, bro.
Look at you, man. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. And I appreciate you coming on This, That, and the Other radio show. How you doing?
Hey.
It's our first shirt. Right on, man. Right on. So what's the latest in what's the latest in your world? I heard, saw that you broke a hoof, man.
Yes. I was fortunate enough in 2020 to break my left ankle pretty horrifically in a mountain bike accident. And then October of 2023, I fell off a stage and I mangled my right foot, just mangled it. Pretty nasty. A couple of surgeries later, and I'm finally back in a shoe. It took about 5 months or so.
How has it been for you getting back on stage? I mean, have you been able to walk and kind of, because, we get an injury, we sort of kind of adapt, improvise, overcome, as they say.
Sure. My first show I did was with Jack at the Whiskey in a boot, in an orthopedic boot. I figured the Whiskey, there's not a lot of room to move around anyway, so there was no loss there. And I was just itching to play. So that was the first show we did. I can't remember what date it was. It was a couple months ago. And then we did the Canyon Club out here in Montclair the night after. And, I just did it in a boot. And I did a couple of shows with my other bands, just on a chord and just keeping it mellow. Not moving around too much. But I'm in a shoe now. And the biggest problem was flying. And because after my first surgery, I got a blood clot, deep vein thrombosis in my leg from the surgery, which is dangerous.
Yeah, of course.
Especially dangerous if you fly. And it's hilarious. My son and my girl and I go to the surgeon just a couple of days after the surgery, where I'm like, yeah, man, let's get the wrapping off, and I need to get in the boot, get on the plane, and go to Cancun and meet up with Jack and the guys. And that didn't happen. they like sent me back to the ER. You have a deep vein thrombosis. If you get on a plane, you're going to probably die. So don't do that.
Don't do that. It seems like you've been pretty mobile on stage, though.
I have been. It's been a lot better. The adrenaline kicks in, and then nothing hurts.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt till you get home.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
But that's what that's the running joke of this band is that we're of Jack's band and me and Jack, myself. We're just take a licking and keep on ticking.
Yeah,
so that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get into that. Something you posted on your page, and I think it was to highlight this guitar that you had, and it was about your love affair with, because I've broken up with California, so I get what it's like to have failed relationships with states and cities due to, just whatever. But I always am thankful for the path that, sometimes you got to go through some bad to get to some good. For me, Vegas has been a positive thing, but you had referenced some of the monster circus that you did back in the day. And I had forgotten about that. And I wanted to kind of get a little bit more info because I forgot that you did that. And I've got, just some stuff here. The old game from this was like 2009.
Oh my God.
On your screen, left to right, John Corabi. Looks like Dee Snider was a guest that night. Freddie Curry. And who's in between Bruce? I see. Is that you?
That's me.
Oh, my God. Look at that mug. Bruce Kulick, a Vegas resident, and then Rudy Sarzo. Well, tell me why you have some hard feelings about that, because I remember that happening, because I think Corabi we were roommates at the time. He was living with me in Burbank. And I kind of remember that going on, and I found it kind of interesting.
Yeah, it was just such a novel thing at the time. Nobody had ever done anything like that, and it was just such an undertaking, and everybody just jumped on it as soon as we did it. I mean, I didn't even get out of rehearsals before the Hilton. At the time, it was the Hilton asked us to they wanted the show. We were just doing a showcase for whoever. Yeah. And the Hilton was like, no, we want this. We haven't even seen the whole show and we want it. And so it was just a very, it was a great time. It was a time, I think that we were some of the guys that were kind of leading the pack in reinstating that era, that genre of music, and noting the fun of it and the importance of it, and so the smart people definitely latched onto it, and everybody just basically tried to steal it from me, It was a very ugly thing. Ended up in federal court, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, it was the one of the most difficult things I've ever been through in my life. If you haven't been through a federal lawsuit and meeting with federal judges and all this stuff, it was crazy. So yeah, we got hamstringed, and it was unfortunate. But now you look back, I just look back and I just think it was a great thing. And I was so lucky to work with John and the guys. John mentions it, I think, in his book too, that he just put out. So, and I still have a nice relationship with Dee and Fred. So, and Rudy for sure. I don't see Bruce very often, but everybody always says the same thing. That was the best time we ever had, and why did it not continue? So who knows, maybe someday.
Well, why do you think it didn't continue? And were you was it your concept?
It was. I was the creator and one of the producers.
Yeah.
So just once you get embroiled in these these lawsuits, it just sucks the life out of everything, sucks the money out of everything. And without money to continue to develop the show, it was doomed. So so that party that initiated all that mess, I think is responsible. But whatever, we move on.
Yeah.
We do new things, and it's not like it can't be done again. And there's a little piece of me that every time I go back to Vegas, every time I go back, and I have a couple of friends there that are still pretty influential, that I think, maybe we'll do it again. So we've had talks.
Whatever you can say about it, what was the outcome? Well, what was the premise of the court case, and what was the ultimate outcome?
Actually, I don't think I'm allowed to talk about it. I don't think I'm allowed to talk about the settlement, but yeah, basically people were claiming that it was their show, and that they had, they had invented it or whatever. And so it took me, it took me quite a bit of doing to get everybody to realize it. No, that's not the way that it is. And by the time we got it handled, it was just too late. It was too far gone.
Yeah. Well, does that experience spoil? I mean, do you think about it when you come to Vegas? Because I saw the
every
photo.
time.
Every time. Wow.
Every time I crest over that hill coming from California,
yeah,
I see the whole thing, I'm like, Dad, that's where my billboard used to be. That was my billboard, And one of my friends is still one of the girls that was in the show, Jennifer Romas. She's gone on to have a really great company and multiple shows going on. I'm so proud of her and what she's done. And other guys have gone on to do other things too. And so every time I go out there, but I still have a good time. I'm either, if I'm not playing with Jack, I do multiple shows out there with my Journey tribute band, and that has just been off the chain, just took over my life.
Yeah, well, tell me about that too. And this is great, because this is, while we are here for a specific reason, I love that we just kind of get into whatever. And I try not to, for better or for worse, take a bunch of notes and stick to a script. I like to go wherever we go. And I had forgotten that you were doing the Journey thing. So what's the name of that? And tell me about that. And
Journey it's pretty straightforward. Journey USA.
Yeah.
So, and these are guys I met, several years ago, and they were just thinking about, starting this thing. And I was like, that sounds like something that'll be good for me when I'm home off the road from what I'm doing with Jack or my band. I can do some shows at home and keep my chops up and whatever. And it turned into something quite different. So, which is good, man. It's been great. A lot of fun. Very much. It's a different experience playing those songs and seeing how those songs relate to people. You know, it's from age 7 to 70. It seems like people in the audience and everybody's just having a good time and dancing and singing. And so we have a good time doing that. And yeah, Vegas has been real good to that band.
Is there something, because there's a lot of Journey tribute bands. In fact, I happen to be in kind of a combo band where we're doing Journey and Bon Jovi. It's called
Right.
Two for the Show. So, you know, we're all doing it. You know what I mean? These are songs that we
Sure.
grew up on. We love them. What separates your Journey from all the other Journeys out there in America doing a tribute to Journey?
Well, I think it seems to me like they fall into a couple different categories. There are those bands that are kind of doing the dress up thing and trying to kind of look the part, or kind of copy that whole 1983 tour look or whatever. And there's that, and then there's a band that's just get out there and play the songs and try to relate that energy from that era. And I don't know. I think we just do a good job and we're genuine about it. We all really get a kick out of it. We're not, it's not a job or anything. It's just it's a guilty pleasure for sure. You know, I'm a huge fan of Neil, Neil Sean's playing and those songs. So
Are you the Neil in the band?
yeah. Yeah.
So you got because we all know you as, back in the day, the bass player for Great White.
Yeah.
And, to know that you're shredding, and then in your own band, you're also handling the lead vocals.
Yeah.
So,
every band I've ever been in, besides playing with Great White, every time, as soon as you open your mouth, it's like, oh, you're going to be the singer too now. Great.
You're that guy.
I'm that guy. Yeah. Keep me
nothing
away
wrong
from the
with
piano, because if I do that, then I have to play that too.
Right. Well, let's get into Shadow and the Thrill.
Hey.
Look at that, right? We got the logo there, and also we have a gig coming up here.
Yeah.
Right on the 19th. I actually have this. I mean, listen, while my show just got monetized, it's still a little rickety. I'm just trying to do the radio thing, but I had some guests on in the last couple of weeks that got a lot of traction on YouTube. So now I'm trying to do, some production. So I even have this, and we'll play this at the end. But
Southern California friends, Shadow and the Thrill live at the Mint, Los Angeles, Friday, April 19th. Get your pre-sale tickets at www.themintla.com. Southern California.
Sweet.
we're awesome, right? I mean,
You're awesome. Thanks, bro.
you don't Eddie Trunk's not doing this. But so what's going on with Shadow and the Thrill? The first time you came on the show, God, I think it's been almost a few years now. You were just kind of coming out of the gate with it. You've got a brand new song which you sent me. We're going to spin that after we finish our chat here.
Super.
What's the latest?
Actually, that is I don't want to say it's a re-release because it never was really released. It's one of the tracks off of that album, Sugar Bowl, which is on Deco Records. And they're it's just kind of these tracks that were kind of these bonus tracks. Shake the Devil, which is a Tommy Bolin cover. And I think we did a kick-ass version of it. So they're kind of releasing that, and it's kind of, now it's going to be packaged back with the original album and a new electronic package of the whole thing. And I think we're going to do another unreleased track off that called Leanna. So just letting out a couple of goodies that we were saving, and just to bring a little, bring some attention back to Sugar Bowl, that album. And then the next, the first new single will be out May 30th, I think. And that song's called Bleeding Out. And we're we'll debut that pretty soon.
Right on. Hey, just to go back to the journey, just so we get all the links right, journeywsaband.com. Is that you?
That's correct.
Look at that. All right. My web mistress, DK, in the chat, put that up there. And so we can show that there. Look at that.
I'm coming to May 11th. I'll be there in Vegas.
Excellent. And of course, I'll be gone. I'll be back in California. I don't get it. I feel like that, I think, are we looking at each other's schedule and trying to avoid the ultimate, meetup?
I think I called you to come out and play, and you're too busy, man.
We're definitely gonna do that.
That sounds good.
So let's get into what you're also doing, Jack Russell's Great White. I had a question I happen to notice, because I'm just pulling some stuff here, and there's a line up there on the website. I noticed we got Dickie back. So on the left, Ken Mary on drums.
Yes.
And so what's Ken's status with the band, or what was his status? Was because he's in a band photo.
Yeah, he's Dickie decided that he needed some time at home, and so Ken jumped in, and Ken's a great drummer. He played with Flotsam and Jetsam, Jafria. I think he was in House of Lords too. I don't know all of his backstory, but I know he's a great guy, and we've been out there knocking it out, and then Dickie will jump out when Ken's busy with Flotsam and Jetsam. Dickie did the last 3 Texas shows with Jack. Yeah. So you love Dickie. Dickie he's even played out with me at Shadow and Thrill as well, and he's played on some recordings as well. So I just love the guy.
Yeah, he's a great dude. Well, I just wonder, Ken's been around for a long time. Well, we all have, but I don't know what fountain of youth you guys are drinking out of. That's, you guys got a good looking band there.
They are, for sure. I'm worse for the wear, but hey.
Hey, but you wear it well. That's all you got to do.
Hey, I'm walking. That's, you start to appreciate the little things in life.
Absolutely.
Once you lose your mobility. So
I get it. So 2 for the Shadow. Sorry, Shadow and the Thrill. You've got the date April 19th at the Mint. Anything else coming up for you guys on that front?
Not quite yet. I'll be. It's looking like we'll do like Cincinnati and in Indiana, and maybe El Paso ourselves and Las Cruces. So that's what I'm working on now. Just trying to stay busy, man.
And that's what shadowandthethrill.com.
Yes, sir. And the Journey Band will be, like I said, in Vegas. I'll be in Yuma this coming up here, and Vegas May 11th. So at the station, Santa Fe station.
Okay. Right on. Love the station casinos here in town. My guest, for those listening at dirtyradio.fm, channel 2 Dirty Radio Classics on this, that, and the other radio show, it is Troy Patrick Farrell. My guest is Tony Cardenas, Montana, and his shark. I wish I had the theme for Jaws. And he's from Shadow and the Thrill, Journey USA Band, as well as Jack Russell's Great White. And, he came on. I invited him to come on because of a recent article we saw. You guys had some performances in the Texas area this weekend.
Yeah.
And, the article I'm referring to here is from Metal Sludge. Stevie Rochelle, the CEO of the site. The title says "Pull the Plug." Jack Russell's Great White plays questionable gig in Texas. His fans watch in shock and compare it to the weekend at Bernie's. So, I happened to see, the video, wow. and I did read some comments, and I appreciate you coming on here because people had some questions, even on your page, going, what's going on here? There's some comments here, and this isn't for shock and awe, but there's a consensus that people kind of noticed that Jack didn't seem to be in the best of health. Sort of my view watching it was I felt, and I appreciate that we can have an honest conversation here.
Sure.
the reason why we can is because we all love and care about these guys. You know, we all grew up. You were in Great White. I grew up as a fan, still a fan of Great White, and Jack as the singer. And, you know, you see something like that, and we all go back to our memories of the 80s and Once Bitten, Twice Shy and, you know, Lady Red Light. And we keep that memory in our head, and then we see a video and Jack's on a chair.
It's brutal.
From my point of view, I kind of felt like he was, I don't know if he was a bar ahead or a bar behind. I noticed that you guys picked up some of the vocal slack for him, and people, the fans out there, saw the video, commented on the videos. A lot of those videos, in fact, have been removed. I want to ask you about that. But what's going on? Because we're concerned about him.
Yeah, it's you and me as well. You know, it was really a very odd circumstance. We were on stage there at the Lava Cantina at the Colony there in just outside of Dallas, and the band. I mean, we hadn't seen him, and he literally showed up like 1 minute from downbeat. He came on stage, and we're like, okay, well, you know, that was odd, but it's not, you know, it is what it is, right? You know,
Sure.
At least he's here, and we're all here and we're ready to go. And, you know, so we started going at it, and then it became apparent that, yeah, he was, something was wrong. And from what my understanding is that he had taken some kind of new medication that afternoon, and it just put him in a tailspin. And, you know, for us as band members and friends, you know, and, you know, of the guy, you know, we're playing and you realize, okay, something's up. What do we do? I mean, we can't just stop. We're not just going to stop. And he seemed to kind of pick up the pace later in the set and kind of got his bearings. And we just finished off the show, and we had, you know, I think I talked to the crowd a little bit myself, and you know, we did our thing. And, you know, of course, the thing that nobody's going to mention is that the next night in El Paso, he was kind of back to what he was doing before, and you know, sang the songs and everything was okay. It just was. And then the next night after that, even a little bit better. So I don't know. It just, the guy had a bad reaction to some kind of medication, and it just, man, it must've been scary. It must've been scary for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
scary for me because I had to sing.
Yeah, sure. Well, especially since he showed up so close to showtime that you guys didn't have a chance to absorb what was going on until it was happening, which was live on stage.
Yeah, that's always fun, right?
We're
making audibles right then and there.
Yeah,
and that's you know, thank God we're in. Thank God it was me and Dickie and Dan and Robbie to be able to make quick decisions and while we're playing. And at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, it was not one of his most, you know, definitely not a shining moment, but you know what, we got through it. He got through it. And the next day he was, you know, back to what was normal before. So,
yeah. Is he, you know, kind of moving forward? Cause I know, you know, I've seen him, in the chair. I've seen him out of the chair. He was back in the chair over the weekend. Is that kind of what, you know, moving forward? Is he best, you know, to be put, you know, sitting in a chair to perform these shows, sing these songs? I mean, listen, it's not the first time anybody's done it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I don't know. It depends on how he's feeling, really. Like we just did a show in Medina, Minnesota, where he was really strong and he seemed great, and you know, everything was cool. So we're just gonna, you know, we just roll with it, you know, however it comes. And you know, I don't want anybody to get the misconception that I'm the one who's taking Jack out and putting him out in front of people. I mean, this is Jack's band. I'm the hired gun, and he calls me when he wants to go play, and I go support my friend, and I do my best. And sometimes he's, we all do. We all have, off nights or whatever. And, hopefully your other band members are going to absorb a little bit of that. That's what it's all about.
Do you ever see a point, or, maybe not even but, your thoughts on this, bands that are out there that, and, I had some experience back in 2006 touring for Janie Lane in his solo band. And he wasn't well off. I think we did, I maybe did 10 shows with him, and I think I remember the 2 good ones that we did, because out of the other 8, he didn't show up to 5 of those, and then the 3 that we did, he was up against holding himself up between the wall and the bass rig,
Wow.
And you sit there and go, at what point do you tell your booking agent or whoever is handling the guy to go, hey man, he is not in a good spot. And I'm certainly not comparing or accusing Jack of, being under the influence, because Janie was very public about the battles he had and when he got back together. And he's, in the lineage of Great White singing at one point for them. So, it all kind of ties together. But do you feel at some point, like, hey, if you're not good, or you're not able to put on that show where people are spending $25-$40 a ticket, whatever it is, do you intervene and go, hey, let's wait till we can ramp up and put on a quality show where you are 100%, where you're not out there not feeling great and not put out your best? I mean, I know it's a touchy subject, and I get it.
Yeah, it's the thing is, that's not my call at the end of the day. If he needs my support to come out and play, most of the time I'm there to do it. I mean, these days we're all getting busy. We all have other things going on, and so I can't be at every single one, but for the most part, I'll be there. And I owe Jack a great deal of respect, and I'm gonna do the shows that he asked me to do. And when he's done, he'll let everybody know. It was, again, I really do. I think it was kind of a fluke. He had a bad reaction, and it just was, man, it was really, really apparent to a lot of people that were there. And of course, there's now this video that goes on, and but the next night everything was cool. So, we just moved forward.
Did you guys have the videos removed in question? There was, with respect to the videos in the article, I've noticed a lot of removed.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that stuff.
Gotcha. Well, going back to,
I got enough problem with my own stuff that I have to manage everything for Jack too. Yeah, it's not. So
I get it. Well, you go back to saying, listen, I'm a hired gun, and obviously you guys have a very long, I get the business aspect of it, but you guys have a very, multiple decades long friendship and relationship outside of music. But I get, that you stay in your lane with respect to that. I didn't in the Janie Lane situation, which is probably why I got replaced, because I was worried about the guy, because I'm sitting behind a hero singer watching this, and it was devastating for me. And I said something like, why is this guy out doing shows? And then, then I see shows booked and I don't get the phone call. So maybe, maybe I should learn to stay in my lane too. I don't know. Have you guys, or has he said anything to you guys about it? Like, hey, because some years ago, Piercy had some knee surgery. I think he's had both knees, and he's pretty robotic now these days, but he was on some pain meds and had some really rough shows and made a statement about it. I know that you're here coming on the show, but do you think Jack may kind of address it, going, hey, because it's not about apologizing and saying, I'm sorry for those folks in Texas that didn't get the great show, but to let people know he's okay. Because I really think that's the biggest. A lot of this comes from caring about him,
Yeah, I don't know what his he's not much for social media and for anything electronic. So I don't know if he'll jump out and say anything at all. I think he's just going to try to rehab as much as possible. Not rehab like in the sense of like drug rehab, but do whatever he needs to do to feel better and to move on from whatever it was that he needed to take that medication for. It was something, I think, kind of serious. So, and it had some serious side effects. So hopefully he's past that. And, I think, him and his wife are, always trying to do make the right decision for him. They don't want to, we don't want to lose the guy because he's exhausted or something either. So, nobody wants that.
Absolutely. Do you guys have Jack Russell dates coming up soon, or you got a little break, or what's the latest on that camp?
I think there's a couple that are coming up. I know the Whiskey's coming up in June. I think the Arcata Theater is coming up in Ohio. I've seen some stuff like come on and off the calendar, but that's the ones that come to mind right away.
Gotcha. Yeah, I checked their website, official Jack Russell's Great White, which is jackrussellsgreatwhiteband.com. And it looks like the tour page, from what I'm seeing, still has some stuff is up to February 16th. So maybe check Facebook, social media. That's usually a lot easier to keep updated. I'm looking forward to doing the Whiskey again. That was it's always a good show. It's always nice to play at home. Yeah.
And then we're going up. I think we're going to be in Oroville, up at Feather Falls, which is a casino up there, which my mother and my sister and brother-in-law are up there. So I'm really looking forward to that. And we don't get to play Northern California too often. So, we're looking forward to get up there and play finally.
Anything regarding new music for Jack and the band?
He came down for about a week, and we were working on stuff in the studio. So there's some inklings of tunes out there. He's got some stuff. There's a couple of projects I know that we're supposed to kind of tie up, but he got busy with the thing he did with Tracy Guns, and so that took precedence for a bit, and now I think we'll probably get in there and start working on the follow-up.
Right on. Well, Tony, thanks for coming on the show and addressing that. I know it's a tricky spot to sometimes talk about the elephant in the room, and I appreciate you coming on, and know that I came to you as a friend, and doing this. I see the stuff out there, and I just try to find a way to provide information for my mom that listens to the show and the fans of Jack Russell's Great White.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you what, there definitely was an elephant in the room, and then for me, it disappeared the next night once I stood on stage with him and he was doing his thing. It was just like, oh, well, everything's okay. So, it's a bit of a roller coaster, but that's Jack.
Yeah. And that's rock and roll. And the fact that you came on here to talk about it is admirable. So, I appreciate that. Let me just ask you, what are your thoughts on, a show like that getting press and, music fans chiming in and, because
it's a different world. It's a different world for all of us musicians, really.
Under the microscope.
Where everything that you do goes out to the world, no matter where and how bad you were or how great you were. That is the business of music now. And it's a little difficult for me to adjust to. Honestly, I've got a friend that I do some writing with that continually berates me because I wanted things just right, and I want that fixed or that edited, and he's always like, it doesn't matter anymore, man. Just the stream of information going out to the world is constant. As musicians, when we play now, it's everything is curated for the all time. And so, that bad note that you hit, there it is, live with it. that bad show, live with it. Yeah. But the great ones, you hope that those stay out there too. So yeah, man, it's just the nature of the business now.
Yeah, right on. Well, Tony, thanks for coming on this, that, and the other radio show, dirtyradio.fm, of course, on channel 2, Dirty Radio Classics. And now on my monetized YouTube, I will send you a portion of the proceeds. I don't know how much. I think the postage will be more than the check, right? I mean,
do it. Good, man.
Right
I'm
on.
going to send some traffic, brother.
Come on now. Shadow and the Thrill, Impulse Bangs, Libozine. Sounds like something my doctor might prescribe me. Glass Era and Forest Line coming up at the Mint next Friday, week and a half from today, the airing of the show, which is live here, 2 to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on April 10th at the Mint. And you can go to, is it the mintla.com? Is that how we see that?
That's
get those
correct.
tickets? Right on. Why don't we do this just because, I feel so proud that I got this together.
Southern California friends, Shadow and the Thrill live at the Mint, Los Angeles, Friday, April 19th. Get your pre-sale tickets at www.themintla.com.
Look at that, dude. This is a real deal here. This, that, and the other radio show. Shadow and the Thrill and the Jack Russell's Great White, JourneyUSABand.com. You got all sorts of stuff, man. Watch those feet, dude. I know.
Damn it.
Right on, man, and keep walking upright, and I appreciate you coming on, man, and answering the tough questions. So
yeah, I thank everybody that is a fan of a Great White fan and Jack Russell's Great White, and that care about him, and just let you know that I talked to him. He seems good, so we're gonna get out there. We're gonna play more shows, and like I said, it felt really good in the next 2 nights in Texas. And so I'm expecting everything to just be business as usual, man.
Right on, brother. Thanks again, Tony, for coming on.
Okay.
And the next time we can get together, when you're here in Vegas, I'm going to take you up on that offer to come see your band, whatever band it is. And
come sit in, bro.
Right on. And we're going to spin that new tune again. It's Shadow and the Thrill. What's the name of the song? And it's a Tommy Bolin cover. Yeah. Tommy
Bolin cover is called Shake the Devil. And that's Brent Arcement playing drums. And oh gosh, of course I'm going to forget her name right now. Oh my God.
That's okay.
Sorry. Great vocalist. Oh my God. I'm going to shoot myself.
Don't do that.
Anyways,
so the ratings could go through the roof, but we don't.
She's just super, man. She just kicked ass on this one. So we had a lot of fun. It's a good grip. It's a good riff.
Right on. We'll spin that right after this, as well as the latest from the Jack Russell's Great White Band release. When did that last album come out that you guys did?
Gosh,
when did that come out?
Did the acoustic version of Once Bitten? It's been several years. It's been a minute.
Yeah, I've got.
We're due.
What we're spinning here is Sign of the Times. That's what I'm talking about.
That's from.
Was that a Jack Russell?
Yes, that's from before. That's the He Saw Coming. That's a great tune, man. Great tune.
Right on. Well, we'll spin that here. This at the other radio show, dirtyradio.fm. Channel 2 Dirty Radio Classics. Tony, thanks again for coming on the show. And for those of you that still want to listen to whatever it is that I do here at dirtyradio.fm on Dirty Radio Classics, we're live and alive from 2 to 5 p.m. So we got just over 2 hours left of radio, and you can find that at dirtyradio.fm and click on that cassette for Dirty Radio Classics. Tony, take care, man, and be well, and we'll talk to you soon.
I'll see you soon.
Thanks, man. Take it easy. Bye. All right. Look at that. It is TPF here. This, that, and the other radio show, dirtyradio.fm, channel 2, Dirty Radio Classics. And that was Tony Cardenas, Montana, from Jack Russell's Great White, Shadow and the Thrill, Journey USA Band, and many more. And he's a good dude. He came on here in light of an article that was posted at metalsludge.tv just regarding some footage that had come out and some fans being concerned about the performance. And we asked the tough questions, and he answered them. And I admire him for coming on the show. I am going to conclude this portion here live on YouTube, as well as on the Tony. I'm kicking you from the studio, but don't worry, I got a soft boot on. Take care, buddy. Anyway, we'll continue here at Dirty Radio Classics. You can find anything and everything at drummertroy.com, and you can also stream the show from here. So for those on the YouTube, let me just check and see if we got any comments. Hey, Lori Nickel from Australia. Thanks, buddy, for tuning in all the way down there. And Antonio, thanks, man. I appreciate you checking out the show here. Tony Montana's JourneyUSABand.com. You can find that all there. And we got some other goodies here. Yeah, the Monster Circus thing was so cool. There is actually a video. It's actually all the audio. You can find it. But there was a promo video they did. And this Monster Circus thing this is what I'm talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Monster Circus is in town.
Anyway, you can find all that on YouTube. Check out Monster Circus. That's the promo video, as well as somebody recorded the entire show on audio, so you'll want to check that out. All right, hey, this, that, and the other radio show, Dirty Radio.fm, Channel 2, Dirty Radio Classics. Drink every time I say that. Just kidding. I'm off to the radio show now, and for those that tuned in here, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. I'll see you over at the radio station, drummertroy.com, for any and all, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again, Tony, for coming on the show. I'm out.
Classic Rock Dirty Radio.
We play the biggest variety of classic rock. Dirty Radio.